Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. If you are performing an activity often, you should become better at it. And when you become an expert, then obviously if something happens, you will be the one called to figure out how to solve a problem or something related to that activity. Two bridges were blown up by the Ukrainians and some missile strikes using storm shadows, and not only, according to even the Ukrainians, which is no surprise to me. The Russians are saying that, hey, it's the West, NATO countries using these missiles to blow up our bridges, and that's unacceptable and all that. I would tell the Russians to take it easy. That's a war. What would you do? Now, obviously, these were, again, civilian infrastructure. So it was not a military bridge. There were two bridges that were car for transport. The Russians claim that those were not used for military purposes, blah, blah, blah. I have pictures, I have maps, I have articles discussing this. But my point here is, if Ukraine is so good, and you're going to see some pictures, at destroying bridges, which are very narrow, then how about the Kakhovka Dam? You remember the one on the Dnieper River, the Kakhovka Dam? That 3 seconds after it was damaged, destroyed by someone, the Ukrainians told all of us that it was the Russians. I haven't heard the Russians being experts so far in hitting bridges, but I have a lot of other articles pointing the finger at the Ukrainians. We have two little things here. One, Ukraine is good at blowing up bridges. And the second one, when do you blow a bridge? When you retreat? Or you're afraid that the army is going to come over, Red Rover, right? Or sometimes you do it in order to prevent your enemy's retreat as well. So you trap them, which I don't think is the case in this one, but let's see what the articles are informing us. And since we have a lot of articles here, let's start with the one from CNN, which we know they don't lie. So CNN, this article is from today, Sunday, August 6, 2023. Explosions hit road bridges between Crimea and occupied Ukraine. I have maps, I will show you. It's one of them. It's hard to see, but it's one of them. The other one, it seems like it's a metal. And that looks like this one. So this is one, and the other one was just shown a little bit here. But they also say there is road bridges. Not train. Let's see, explosions hit critical road bridges, linking occupied Crimea with parts of Kherson region under Russian control, Russian authorities say, as Ukraine escalates its targeting of Russian infrastructure and territory. These things were not built by the Russians, if I remember correctly. Remember when the Ukrainians blew up or attacked the Kerch Bridge on a Kerch Strait, the Crimean bridge that goes between Crimea and Russia, and they said that that's an illegal construction, therefore is open, how's that? Open game, free game, fair game to destroy it. Now what are they going to say about this too? They were not built by the Russians per se, it's not the same thing. What are they going to say? And they're civilian bridges. The blast came on the same day. The Moscow mayor said a drone has been shot down approaching the city, and soon after Ukraine struck one of Russia's biggest oil tankers with a sea drone, as well as carrying out an attack on a major naval base. So they tell us here how fantastic they are. Good to know. The Russian appointed acting head of Kherson region, Vladimir Saldo, said the missiles that hit two bridges in Crimea Sunday were all storm shadows, an air-launched long-range missile supplied to Ukraine by the UK. Saldo said the two bridges were used by civilian and not military traffic. A rupture to a gas pipeline running alongside the bridge had cut off supplies of 20,000 residents of the city of Kenyshchersk in Kherson. Saldo said, "It's kind of a sneaky missile attack that can't be forgiven. It's like a wounded animal snapping back. These strikes do not do anything for the special military operation that is currently underway. They have decided to take petty revenge on civilians and those who are now moving through the territory of the Kherson region." So this is Crimea. These guys don't show us the locations, but I will show you. We're going to go to the Russians right here. So here is Ukraine. This is the part of Ukraine that now belongs to Russia. This is where the war is. This is the Crimean Peninsula. So one of these bridges is the one that was often hit, and this is located right here. And we get to the bridges named, I mean, they were named anyway at the top here. Where is that? That's one of them right here, and I will show you the other one, but let me find right here. Konhar and Henichesk. These were the bridges. The Konhar is right, this one right here, and Genichesk by the Russians is here somewhere. This is a little bridge. This is this one. This is the bridge in, look here, where are you? Henichesk. Genichesk, depends how who's talking about. So this is one of the bridges blown up by the Ukrainians. On the map you can see it right here. So it's the same as right here. So these were the bridges that were destroyed. One right here and one right here. Both for cars. Now I don't know if the troops are not moving in or not. I mean, I think they can also use it. It's not like, oh, we can't use this one. But let's see what's going on here. Look here, the Telegraph. Watch, Ukrainian troops blow up bridges before withdrawal from encircled Bakhmut. They have a lot of experience. They have no problem blowing their own bridges. Why? So that they cannot be screwed, if you know what I mean. So maybe by blowing these things up, I don't know exactly. They want probably to protect their attacks, because if you remember, the Ukrainians this is where their counteroffensive occurs, in Zaporozhye region. So probably they try to prevent troops coming on these two bridges if they come from here, but they have to blow this one too, because they are trying to go in Melitopol. There's two directions, Melitopol and Berdyansk right here. This is where the Ukrainians are trying to break the front. These two, pam, pam. So probably they think, if we're gonna do this, see this little highway here that comes right from this little Konohen bridge, Konhar bridge. So right here, that could not bring troops in the area over here, where the war is right here. Remember, all this little reservoir is not there anymore, because the Kakhovka bridge was blown up right here by the Russians. This is dry, so it's no more, and we like it dry. So here, this is dry, no more wet, no more. So then they can come here towards Melitopol. So again, it doesn't make sense for the Russians to blow it up, because this was the natural barrier. Now it's no more. So all the fingers point to Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines perpetrators. So 1, 2, right here, blown up. And remember this one. They destroyed it before withdrawal from encircled Bakhmut. Very good. Next one. Let's see this one. Ukraine's armed forces confirm 2 bridges in occupied territories being struck. And the same thing here, they tell us what happened on the 6th. The same Mr. Volodymyr Saldo, the Russian appointed puppet. Then we have the Russians from Russia Today, the same date. Ukraine strikes bridges in Crimea with NATO-supplied missiles. Okay, so what are they going to do? And here's another picture of the bridge struck right in the middle. Right there. Very good strike. Very good. They're experts, my friends. But somehow the Russians blew up. No, the Russians could not do the same thing. Ukraine has launched a barrage of British-supplied Storm Shadow missiles at 2 bridges connecting the Crimean Peninsula to Russia's Kherson region, according to its acting governor Vladimir Saldo. Some 12 missiles were fired during Saturday's attack, with at least 3 making it through Russian anti-aircraft defenses, Saldo told the Russia 24 TV channel. Okay, so the strike damaged 2 bridges across the Strait of Kongar and the Tonki Strait, the official stated. There are not, some more pictures. Boom, boom, boom. It seems to me like that's one, it's another one, because you have this. Maybe it's the same one. Doesn't really matter. It makes it. The Kongar Bridge sustained at least 1 hit, according to the acting governor, who shared imagery of the aftermath. The attack damaged a rural school and ruptured a local gas pipeline, leaving the nearby town of Genishevsk without supply, according to Saldo. Both bridges have hardly been used for military needs and are purely civilian infrastructure installations, he stressed. So, says, while Saldo did not elaborate on the damage sustained by the second bridge, unverified footage circulating online suggests one of its sections has partially collapsed. The second one is this kind of bridge. So one of these sections collapsed. So the bridges linking the northern part of Crimean Peninsula and Kherson region were targeted by Ukraine in another major attack. Okay, what's this? This is where they showed us on the different map the coordinates right here, 1 and 2. We know where they are. And this is the second bridge as well that was damaged. And the first one, you saw pictures provided by the Ukrainians and by the Russians. This is a clear one, right in the middle. But they destroyed, they didn't use only 1 missile. So it seems to me that we have a suspect here, not a suspect about these bridges. It's a clear thing. A suspect about the Kakhovka Dam, which again, they say, we all know here now, without evidence, just because the Ukrainians said, Russians did it to screw themselves. Okay, that's very interesting. But the same thing with Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream pipelines. Who did it? Russians. They even said the Russians did it to themselves. Okay, not impossible, but you have the big elephant in the room and you point out to a little mouse somewhere squeaking. And we're supposed to agree with them. No, we don't agree with that. So these are civilian infrastructures. The experts destroyed those bridges, and the Russians could not blow all the Storm Shadow missiles. And then they cry that as the Western supplied. You should have acted. The first time the NATO, any NATO member state, supplied a bullet, the first bullet, not right now when they have missiles, long-range missiles, and they're going to have airplanes, they have tanks, they have armored fighting vehicles and all that. Now, who cares? Now it's too late. You got from 0 to 99. You're to 99 right now, and you're crying now. You should act at the first one, like with a bully. You smack in the face the first time that bully tries to bully you. But hey, they didn't. So right now, that's multiple. And the Russians are, they used shadow missiles. All right. That's why I think this is a controlled fight, war. It's a very controlled fight. If there would be the enemy and Poland would supply, what's the name? Let's say this is Adolf, or a crazy guy, crazier than Putin somehow, and let's say Poland would provide, a bullet or a tank or a MiG-29 to Ukraine. Those guys, which is the Russians, let's say we have Adolf, probably would have wiped up Poland just like this. They can. So, but no, they didn't do anything. They were just pop. Well, that would have been a total war. This is just, yeah, but we're gonna retaliate. We're gonna hurt you back. Okay, you hurt them back. I'm right here in Vistula. I'm swimming. And you do what? You kill those guys kill you, and we're just supplying at the order of the big guy. Not the big guy, but anyway. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So don't cry, Russia. Do not cry about this one. Should have been stopped right there. I'm not implying that, oh my God, you should have blown up this and that. But now you're talking? Why do you even bother to talk? Keep your mouth shut. You accepted the first rape. Now you're at rape 99. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.